Have you ever had one of those nights that felt too good to be true, where everything just seemed to fall into place and you couldn't help but wonder, what's the catch? Well, in tonight's tale, three friends find out that sometimes a free night out can come at a deadly cost. What starts as an innocent trip to a newly opened bar turns into something far more sinister. Welcome to the Haunt Vault, where every story has a price, and tonight, their bill comes due. Settle in, and remember, nothing is ever truly free. The Last Stop. It was Friday afternoon, the end of a grueling 60-hour work week. Matt, Luke, and Dave were at their desks, bleary-eyed and counting the minutes until the end of their shift. The fluorescent lights above buzzed with the same dull monotony that had filled the past 5 days. They had been working late every night, chasing deadlines, and by now, their minds were mush.
I swear, one more hour in this place and I'll snap.
Luke muttered, running a hand through his disheveled hair. His eyes were glued to his phone, aimlessly scrolling through social media to kill time. Matt, half paying attention to his screen, caught a glimpse of something on Luke's phone.
"What's that?"
he asked, leaning over.
Some Facebook thing. Promo for a free night out at a bar. The Last Stop, or something like that.
Dave snorted.
Free night out? Nothing's free, man. It's a scam, I guarantee it.
Luke smirked and tapped the screen.
Hey, what's the harm? Just gotta fill in your details. I'll sell my soul for a night of free drinks.
They all laughed, but Luke went ahead and filled in the form. They joked about how silly it was, how there was no way they'd actually win. But as their shift was coming to a close, Luke's phone buzzed with a notification. He stared at it, then his face split into a grin.
Holy crap, we won.
Matt looked up from his desk, eyes wide.
"Wait, seriously?"
Yep, free drinks all night long at this place called The Last Stop. Tonight. Told you it wasn't a scam.
Well,
Dave said, stretching.
I guess we're celebrating. I could use about a gallon of beer.
As soon as they clocked out, they piled into Luke's car and headed toward the bar. The Last Stop was on the outskirts of town, in a nearly abandoned industrial area, past rows of dilapidated factories and warehouses. The only other sign of life was a gas station across the road.
This place is sketchy.
Matt commented, staring out the window at the crumbling brick buildings.
I don't know, man.
Dave replied.
Maybe it's one of those trendy spots that's supposed to look rundown, retro or whatever.
They pulled into the parking lot, which was almost empty except for a couple of cars. The bar's neon sign flickered, glowing dimly against the night sky. The Last Stop. Luke laughed.
Perfect name. This place looks like the last stop before the end of the world.
They got out of the car and approached the entrance, the distant thrum of music growing louder as they pushed through the door. Inside, it was surprisingly warm and inviting, a cozy, dimly lit space with booths along the walls and a long bar stretching across the far side. Lively music played from an old jukebox, and the few people present, mostly staff, greeted them with friendly smiles.
"Not bad."
Matt admitted, glancing around.
"It'll probably get busier later."
They grabbed a booth and immediately took advantage of their free drinks prize. The waitress, a cheerful young woman with red hair and an ever-present smile, served them round after round. By the third round, Luke was tipsy, his face flushed.
Can't believe this was free. We really lucked out.
Dave nodded.
Yeah, but remember what I said? Nothing's free.
Matt shrugged, raising his glass.
"Well, tonight it is. Cheers."
They clinked their glasses together and continued their night, joking about work and complaining about their boss. Time seemed to stretch in the dim light of the bar, and by the time their fourth round arrived, it was late. The bar, however, remained nearly empty. Luke groaned and got to his feet.
I'm gonna hit the restroom. Be right back.
The others waved him off, still lost in conversation. Minutes passed, and then more. By the time the next round arrived, Luke still hadn't returned. Matt frowned.
Think he passed out in the bathroom?
Dave chuckled.
Wouldn't be the first time. I'll go check.
He slid out of the booth and headed toward the restrooms at the back of the bar. Matt, now alone, continued to drink. The waitress returned to check on him, and they exchanged small talk.
You boys enjoying your night?
She asked, placing another round on the table.
Yeah, it's been great.
Matt replied, slightly slurring his words.
Can't believe we won this. I mean, free drinks all night? We're pretty damn lucky.
The waitress smiled, but there was something unsettling about it. She leaned in closer, her voice low and smooth.
Oh, honey, nothing is free.
Matt blinked, the hairs on the back of his neck standing up. The way she said it, it wasn't playful, wasn't casual. It sent a chill down his spine. Her smile lingered just a little too long, her eyes locking onto his with an intensity that made him feel suddenly cold. He forced a laugh, trying to shake off the creeping unease.
Right? Well, we're enjoying it.
She straightened up, her smile never wavering.
I'm sure you are. Let me know if you need anything else.
Matt watched her walk away, the uneasy feeling settling deeper into his gut. He shook it off. He was just drunk, probably overthinking it. But as the minutes ticked by, neither Luke nor Dave returned. Matt checked his phone. 30 minutes had passed since Dave left.
Hey,
He called out to the waitress.
did you see my friends go back there?
She smiled sweetly.
Oh, I'm sure they're just taking their time. Maybe they got a little too much to drink?
Matt forced a laugh, but the chill running down his spine was impossible to ignore. He couldn't wait any longer. He stood up, swaying slightly as he headed toward the back. The hallway leading to the restrooms felt longer than it had before, with odd turns and angles. The low hum of the bar's music faded as he walked deeper into the hall. Something was wrong. Finally, he reached a door and pushed it open, only to find himself stepping outside into the cold night air. The door swung shut behind him with a heavy clang. He was in the parking lot, staring at the back of the bar.
What the hell?
He muttered, turning around. The door had no handle on the outside. He banged on the metal door, calling for his friends, but there was no answer. Panic set in. He stumbled around to the front of the bar, but when he reached it, the neon sign was off, and the door was chained shut. The windows were boarded up. Matt's breath hitched as he stared at the building in disbelief. The last stop was no longer the cozy bar he had just been inside. It was a decayed ruin, abandoned for what looked like years. His heart pounded as he backed away from the door, stumbling toward the only sign of life, the gas station across the road. Inside, the gas station attendant looked up as Matt rushed in, his face pale.
Hey, have you seen? Did you see two guys come out of the bar across the street?
The attendant frowned.
The bar? You mean the last stop?
Matt nodded frantically.
Yeah, we were just there. My friends?
The attendant shook his head, confused.
That place closed down over 20 years ago, man. They found bodies in the basement. Murders. It's been abandoned ever since.
Matt's blood ran cold. He turned to look out the window at the dark, decrepit building across the street. The friendly bar he'd been in hours earlier was gone, replaced by a ghost of its former self. His friends were gone. It seemed the last stop had truly lived up to its name. And so, what seemed like a harmless night of free drinks turned into their last stop, forever. In the end, nothing is ever as it seems, and sometimes the real cost isn't paid until it's too late. Thank you for joining us tonight in the Haunt Vault, where shadows linger and the past is never quite as distant as it seems. If you enjoyed this tale, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another chilling story. Until next time, keep your eyes open and beware of what may be lurking in the dark.